All right, welcome to Picksville Population. Shawn McCormick, Rob Conway, and you. Thank you for joining us. We're ready to go here.
Oh, yeah, it's week 4, baby.
Week 4. Interesting week last week. We don't need to dive too much into it. We saw a 70 burger. We saw Taylor Swift. It was a wild, wild week.
Highlights for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We'll get to that. We got those two teams going up against each other. We'll get to that in a little bit. But it was an interesting week for the NFL, as it always seems to be, and I'm sure will be again. Let's get first game out of the gate. A team I've liked that's been a dog a couple times. Dogs again. Baltimore against Cleveland, -2.5 right now. With a bit of juice, if you take the 2.5, you can probably buy the hook and almost get back to a pick value-wise, -110.
Mm-hmm.
I love Baltimore in this spot.
Woo. Yeah, I like both these teams long term. I haven't liked what I've seen from either quarterback, to be honest with you.
Not even Lamar, eh?
No, he's throwing behind receivers. Again, it's bad weather there on Sunday against the Colts. The Colts should have lost that game if it weren't for a missed pass interference by one of the referees there on the Colts defender. I am on the Browns in this one.
Really?
I think, again, no Chubb, so they're relying on Ford, and he's been good. He had, I think, 2 touchdowns last weekend. Amari Cooper should have had one that got called back due to the ref blowing the whistle for some reason. They just one of the better defensive units in the NFL right now, if not number one.
Okay.
I think they'll get after Lamar Jackson, force him into some mistakes. I think it'll be pretty low scoring as well. So again, if you buy the hook, or if it even moves to 3,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I want to say I don't hate it. I still would be on the Cleveland side of things, but if it's under 3, a lot of these games between Cleveland and Baltimore finish under, within that range. But things are going a bit better in Cleveland despite losing one of their best players. I'm going to go Cleveland here.
Okay. I don't disagree with some of those points, but I just like Baltimore. I think they're the better team.
Dealing with a lot of injuries.
Sure, they always do. They always are. And I just think
Melvin Gordon might be their starting running back.
They're a well-coached team. They got the better quarterback. So I'm going to go with them. I might buy the hook if it doesn't go up there au natural, if you will.
Yeah. And there's another game that might go au natural too that we'll get to too, I think.
Yeah. Next one up. Who had the worst week?
Me.
Or Sunday? Was it you or Barney?
Well, it was Barney because of the expectations.
No. Well, the real question is, what was worse, getting destroyed by a Kansas City team who basically the only thing that anyone talked about the whole game because it was so bad was Taylor Swift and the Chicago Bears? Or was it your former ball boy, who is now the coach of the team, showing pity on you by not kicking a field goal to set a record for the most amount of points ever scored in an NFL game?
They could have put up, again, I think Robbie Chosen Anderson or Robbie Chosen or whatever he's going by now, he said it best. They could have put up 100.
Yeah.
They pulled starters with 9 minutes to go in the fourth. And it could have been uglier. I don't know how it gets much more ugly, but and despite all that, I still think the Bears had the worst week.
Yeah, I do too.
And that's tough to argue. Again, I think both organizations are in shambles. Sean Payton can't save this Denver team. The defense seems to have just quit. A defensive unit that I thought would be pretty good coming into the year, giving up 70 points is ridiculous. We don't know what's going on with the Bears defensive coordinator. The FBI might have raided his house, and nobody's saying anything about it, whether it was a hugely illegal activity or what he's up to. And just the locker room there, Justin Fields throwing his coaches under the bus. Justin Fields can't seem to throw a pass. Competition for worst quarterback in the league between him and Zach Wilson. Both teams are in shambles. Both teams suck. Both teams are going to finish near the bottom of the league standings. Worst week last week, the Bears. Worst week this week will be the Bears. I'm going to take the Broncos in this one.
Oh, we have to pick the game too. I thought we were just going to talk about how terrible both teams
We
are.
might as well pick the game. They're playing each other, so you might as well pick it.
I'm with you. Worst week for sure was the Bears, just because of how much publicity they were getting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I might go with. I think this is going to be a game of ineptitude, and I don't know. The 3.5 points might not be bad.
Again, it's tough to count on the Denver Broncos to beat anybody, and then beat anybody by margin, three and a half points.
Right.
And so therefore, I agree with you, but Man, they got to be able to contain Justin Fields, and I think their offense is the best unit in this game, the Denver offense. So I'm just gonna cross my fingers, close my eyes, and as a Denver Broncos fan, I don't even think I'll be watching this one, and just hope that they can win by 4 or more.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I'll go with Bears. I really just want to talk about this game because of the sideshows that were those 2 games. Really, I would probably stay away from this game because
it's not on my card. But
since we're talking about it, we'll make a pick. So speaking of those Dolphins, had a great. Obviously, Sunday, 70 points. Ridiculous. Tua looks great. He's the favorite to win the MVP. Then you're going up against the Bills, the team that's kind of run the AFC East for a little bit. Still favorites, though. -2.5 at home. I'm surprised if you put up 70 points that you can't be the favorite the next week, but I think it's a fair number. It's kind of more a matter of neutral site. This is a pick 'em, and I think that's probably fair. Where are you leaning here? I personally, at 37-3, the Bills, took care of business with the Commanders. They're a good team. I like what they're doing there, but do you think that defense is going to be able to slow down what is the Dolphins offense?
They can slow them down a little bit, sure.
Because I think they'll keep up. If it's they could win this game 40-37. Like, they can keep up.
Yeah.
Because they have the offense too. I'm wondering if you get behind against the Dolphins, it might be tough.
Yeah. So I have a lean to the Dolphins in this one. I'll be in attendance at the Ralph, as I still like to call it.
Wait. Are you a Dolphins fan or a Bills fan, or are you just going for fun?
I'm going for fun. I'm a Broncos fan.
Oh, yeah, right, you're a Broncos fan. But so you're just going for fun.
This will be one of the games of the year, I think, if it lives up to the hype. I think, again, we've seen a lot of bad football this season, but I think this game has, again, could be game of the year. Just with a lot at stake early on. You get to see what this Dolphins team is. I think that the Bills D can slow them down. They're not going to put up 70, but I still think they could score, 28, 35 points in this game. I think it's going to be a similar score to the Week 1 Chargers matchup.
Okay.
I think that both teams will score points in this one. But man, even last season, they played the Bills pretty close in the wild card with Skylar Thompson. They only finished, it was garbage time, but that game finished 34-31 or something like that. So, Mike McDaniel seems to have this team coached up well. The offense is firing on all cylinders. The defense is pretty solid. I don't want to say the wrong team is favored, but I'd even take the Dolphins money line because again, if they win, I think it's outside of 3 points. So I would take the money line. That's where I'll be going, and I'll be quietly cheering for the Dolphins in Buffalo on Sunday.
Only game in the 50s, 53.5. Hammer the over.
Yeah, I think I like the over. Again,
well, you're going to be there, so you're going to be cheering for points.
You know me though. I like to be Johnny Contrarian. Sometimes I like the under. It's just when you know what I mean. Unders hit more often than overs. That people like to. It's the public side is the over.
Yeah.
But I couldn't take an under in this game. No.
Okay.
They can set it up at 58, and I'd still take the over.
Monday night. We have the Seahawks and Giants, a virtual pick 'em right now, which you were surprised by.
Yeah.
I think there's still some belief in this Giants team that they are what they were last year, which was a borderline playoff team, got in. But the Seahawks have been kind of up and down as well. I mean, I love what they have at receiver. They have a decent running game. Geno Smith obviously is a good quarterback. But it's a pick 'em on the road.
Yeah.
Where are you laying?
Well, the Jets have faced a tougher competition, right?
Giants.
Yeah, sorry. The Giants have played the tougher competition.
Yeah.
My mistake there. Playing the Cowboys, getting blown out by them. Again, without Saquon Barkley, which I still think he'll be out for this game, which, again, I don't know what's going on with that ankle injury. It's a regular ankle sprain. It's a high ankle sprain. Who knows what's going on there? I don't expect him to suit up for this game. That's a huge loss for them. I still don't like what I'm seeing out of Daniel Jones as a quarterback. I still don't like that wide receiver room. It's terrible. There's nobody on that depth chart that's, a wide receiver 1 caliber receiver. So give me the Seahawks because they've got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. They've got 3 solid receivers, and Jigba hasn't shown up really yet for the Seahawks, but he's young. He will. Kenneth Walker looking really good on the ground for the Seahawks. I like this game to be pretty close, competitive, but I could see the Seahawks winning by a touchdown. I think Seahawks come into MetLife and roll.
I agree. I like the Seahawks in this one for sure. Thursday night, NFC North, big game,
huge game.
Green Bay and Detroit. This division's wide open, of course. Detroit was beginning of the year, basically like they should win this one, should be taken care of. But Green Bay's looked good. Jordan Love has definitely done a decent job so far. Obviously, questions with injuries in the running back room when it comes to the Packers. I think that doesn't help them very much when you think about who's their quarterback. But you like the Lions here, or are you going to ride with the Packers?
This is a tight game for me, man. I like both these teams. I like what they've done this season. The problem for me is I believe that Watson and Aaron Jones will actually play for the Packers. So I think that's why this line is so close. But the Packers haven't really played anybody with an offense yet. You know what I mean? They've played the Saints. They've played the Bears. They haven't played a team that can throw the ball like the Lions can with Jared Goff, and that can run the ball with now Jahmyr Gibbs. So I have a slight lean to the Lions. Again, I think that this is a public team that was perceived to be the winner of this division before the season started. You didn't have a lot of Packers hype coming into it, and they've played well so far this season. But they're playing a more complete team than they've seen so far. A team that can throw on them, a team that can run on them. I'm gonna go with the Lions here in a close one, despite them getting back to their best players on offense.
I love it. I'm with you. I'm going with the Lions as well. I think at a pick'em, it's a no-brainer right now. They're the better team, and I like what I'm going to see. That's going to be a kickoff, a good start to the week.
We agreed a lot this week. Were we the only one we didn't agree was Baltimore?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Although no, I think I took Bears and you took Broncos.
Oh well,
neither of us really wanted that game.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. That's just a game that is happening this weekend.
Yeah.
The toilet bowl.
Yeah, well. You'll be watching.
I'll be at the Ralph watching the Bills. So
is it a 1:00 start?
Yeah, it's a 1:00.
Oh, you got lucky. Yeah. You're not forced to watch the game. I thought because it's Chicago and Denver would be a 4:00 start.
No.
Well, lucky you. Well, have a great time. Enjoy that, and we'll have you back. The Ultimate Warrior. I love that. Love that little tea you got going on here. We'll see you next week at Picksville.